Okay, you ready, ladies? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can y'all hear us?
We can hear you. We can hear you. We ready.
We ready.
Nene daughter always got to make a cameo appearance. She came in the background like, "We ready." Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. We are laughing right now, but what we're going to be discussing today is really no laughing matters. We have a few different topics that we want to touch on. We want to talk about some videos that we want to share with you guys. So let me go ahead and get my disclaimers up real quick. So we will not get flagged for using any of this content that we about to show you guys. Everybody welcome. Make yourself at home. Come on in. This is a drama-free channel. And this is a channel where anybody can express their feelings, their opinions, and do not have to worry about being judged by us. Okay? And we do touch on some real heavy topics. Things that's going on in the world, within our community. And we have gotten a couple of emails as well. So thank you all who have been sending us emails and certain things to discuss. And we, even if we don't discuss it right away, we definitely will get to it because the emails that I read, they were really good topics and things that we hadn't even thought about touching on and talking about. But we will make sure we get to those because they were really interesting. So thank you all for sending us the email. Anybody else that want to send us an email, I'm going to drop the email address in the chat room real quick. Shoot us the email. Give us some suggestions. Let me do that real quick. It's Queens Roundtable. Queens with a Z. Roundtable at gmail.com. So go ahead and shoot us an email and just give us some suggestions or give us your feedback. Whatever. All right. So that is my copyright disclaimer. And I have one more that I want to share to make sure that we don't get hit with any content infringement rights. So let me go ahead and put that up real quick before we get started. And I know we was running a little bit behind today. So we're going to give y'all like an extra 10 minutes before we get off. If it's okay with you guys. Okay, here's my content disclaimer. And again, thank you all for joining us for today's live. Of course, you got your girl Malika. Got my girl Lanice sitting at the round table. And of course, my girl Kanisha at the round table. So welcome everybody. Grab a glass of juicy lemonade on your way in. And let's just have some Queen and King talk. Okay. Let's just have an open discussion. A grown-up discussion. All right. So before we get into our main topics that we wanted to discuss, I'm just going to address a situation that came up behind the scenes from one of our supporters. I don't like really saying followers because, it's not a follow the leader type of thing over here. One of our supporters, and a topic came up about suicide. And so we felt like that was something that we really wanted to just talk on and touch on for a minute because when this person had wrote us about suicide, it wasn't the first time somebody mentioned something about suicide to me. So it kind of hit home with me. And so I said, okay, ladies, well, before we start our next week's live, we need to be able to just speak on suicide, and just kind of touch on it for a few minutes because it's a spirit of suicide going on around and it's affecting our not just our people, but the youth and not just adults, but also the youth. And so that's something that we really need to be aware of, especially when you have young children and children that's dealing with adolescence type of situations. Um, even though they're not dealing with real life, they have yet to really live their life and become an adult. They still dealing with situations that may be too much to handle for them. And y'all know how life can sometimes be overwhelming for us as adults. And so we as adults, we have to pray, we have to meditate, we have to, think some stuff over, get some advice. Some people go to therapy, some people have life coaches. We have to do all of this stuff to try to find a balance and to be able to, keep our sanity. And so as a young child, they don't really have those different choices. When the world is going one way and they feel like they're being tugged in another direction, they don't really know how to create a prayer regimen or meditate. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have no peers they can really talk to. A lot of times they feel like they can't go to their parents because, like Will Smith used to say back in the days, parents just don't understand. So we have to really be conscious of that and look out for that, because it's definitely in the air. And like I said, it hit home to me when somebody wrote to us about suicide, because just last week, a 25-year-old boy, and whose name I'm just not going to mention, because it's somebody that I know personally. I don't actually know him personally, but my aunt and his mom is really close. But 25-year-old guy, he commits suicide. He just took his life and he commits suicide. And I, talking to my aunt and everything, and, knowing how it affected her and know how it affected her friend, which is his mom, I just really feel like that's something that we should really be aware of and pray about. Like, let's make sure we cover our youth, cover adults. We just make sure that we just really praying for this suicide demon, that's bringing suicidal thoughts into people's mind. Because really, you guys, it is nothing too hard for God. It is nothing too complicated in your life that you cannot get through. And so no matter what the situation is, my advice to you would be is to keep fighting, because at least you will live to fight another day. And everybody have trials of life that they have to go through. Everybody have their ups and their down moments that they have to go through. But as that saying goes, only the strong survive. Unfortunately, that's just the way of life. Sometimes it's the demons, the devil messing with us, and sometimes it might be a test to your own character. So let's just try to keep people in prayer, and let's just kind of pray that demon, that suicide demon and curse that's coming amongst our people, and especially the youth, let's try to just pray that stuff cease, because it's just ridiculous. I don't know if you girls wanted to touch on that, but that was something I really wanted to say, because that message to me that we got was really heartfelt and it hit close to home. And I really feel so terrible for the young man in Michigan that just lost his life to suicide. So wanted to say that real quick. Much love to everybody in the chat. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I struggle with depression and suicide. I call it the faceless enemy. Oh, my God. Yes, that's definitely a good name for it. And normally, it starts with depression. It starts with stress. And a lot of times we just don't know how to get through them moments, those dark moments. And I remember one time me feeling like I was just spiritually broken. And to me, that's like the worst type of feeling that you can have, like just feeling like you so spiritually broken, because the heart can heal eventually, but when you feel spiritually broken, or when you feel like God abandoned you, or you feel, anybody ever went through a church hurt where you was hurt by your church home, or you had one belief, and then next thing you know it, you read the Bible for yourself and your eyes was open and you realized that what you was taught ever since you was a child wasn't the truth. I'm talking about one of those type of hurts, you know. And maybe for some that's not huge, but um feeling really down in your spirit and going through a spiritual slump, that can really do something to some people. That's why when I do come across people that's really struggling, with their life and going through depression and having those suicidal thoughts, the advice that I normally give to them is pray. Start praying until something happens. You know what I'm saying? And just like I tell them, take time away from social media, take time away from anybody, anything that bring you negativity, and encourage yourself, but definitely don't allow yourself to get that deep, into your mindset to where you feel like your life is worth nothing. So I just wanted to say that was definitely harsh to read, but yeah, we all come to those terms sometimes. But anyway, so we're going to really kind of give y'all a little quick update on Tim Norman. We talked about Tim Norman last week. Tim Norman, if you guys didn't remember, he was the guy that played on Kanisha, you go ahead and tell it. Because I never watched, is it called Sweetie Pies? I never watched that show.
Yeah, it's called Welcome to Sweetie Pies. It was on Oprah's network on, so that's where it was being shown at.
Yeah, I've seen
As
the
far
previews and stuff, but I've never got into that.
Yeah, it was a good show. I only really like watching it because she was cooking. Like the food looked real good, and so I
You
mean, it
know,
was
like
kind of
watching cooking
like
shows.
it was just kind of like as if you was watching like your own family without all the drama and stuff involved. But Miss Robbie was a singer. She was a backup singer for Ike and Tina Turner back in the day.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, so she was a when she had Tim, I think Tim, his brother, I think, I believe her mom or their aunt, raised them up until, she got off the road and stuff. But yeah, she was a backup singer for Ike and Tina Turner. But as far as like an update, it really isn't an update. I mean, since
Well,
they
we got a video that we're gonna play for y'all real quick. And so this is pretty much all the update that we have in this video. It's not too much being said, but if y'all don't remember the story, we shared the story last week where he actually solicited a prostitute to off his nephew, was it, for his insurance policy. So we're gonna kind of play y'all an update of that. We also want to give y'all some information on a 2-year-old missing child by the name of Maliyah Bass. We're gonna kind of share that with y'all, and we also gonna play the full video of Jacob Blake. If you guys haven't seen or heard about Jacob Blake, we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna have a discussion based off of that. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the Tim Norman video for y'all real quick. Just a few minute video, just kind of watch and kind of catch everybody up on what's going on with that tea. So let's get to it.
If never trust a big butt.
And shout out to Chronicle Speaks, which is the video that I'm playing right now from Chronicle Speaks. And also, I just wanted to say real quick that we have been having some technical difficulties. So if we do and the video skips, pauses, or whatever, just give us a second and we'll get right back to it.
But and a smile was a person. Girl, stop. Child, anytime you smile in your arrest picture for offing your nephew, no, you ain't got no sense. Before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of this tea. Now let's get back into it. So I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the news of Tim Norman, the son of Miss Robbie from Welcome to Sweetie Pies, was locked up, Child, I thought it was for abusing a woman. I thought Jennifer Williams had finally locked him up, child, for what he had done to her. But no, it was not that. This man is in jail for a murder for hire plot to kill his own nephew, his deceased brother's son. And child, when I tell you, Miss Robbie ain't been sleeping at all, I already know that woman hadn't had a wink of sleep. Now, Tim is currently in jail for a murder to hire plot, which resulted in his nephew, Andre Montgomery, being murdered. Now, on August 18th of this year, James Timothy Norman was charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of murder for hire resulting in death. Now, Tim and his stripper girlfriend accomplice, Terica Ellis, activated temporary cell phones at the same store and talked on these phones all day. Now, Ellis even called Tim's nephew, Andre, on the phone to find out where he was for the sole purpose of just luring him outside. Now, the documents that are online and available to the public never said that Ellis was the one that murdered or the one that even pulled the trigger, but homegirl was definitely there in the same vicinity when it went down. Now, my thing is this. I looked Terica up long time ago in the MySpace days. Baby girl had 4 kids. Y'all know that was like, what, 10 years ago? Child, before we even get into that, they need to title this photo, If Falling Off Was the Person, because, child, Terica don't look anything on the left like she do on the right. I know she ain't going.
Before Sono Bello, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to eat right, drink more water, work out, but I still didn't have the waistline that I wanted.
Going in no strip club looking like she do on the left, child. Anyway, let's get back to her kids. Baby girl had 4 kids 10 years ago. If she was not the trigger man, I guarantee you, sis is gonna be in there singing like a canary, telling them who the trigger man is. Just to get back to her kids. The fact that it has not been released who the trigger man is, that person is either on the run or they're still trying to clamp down on exactly who it is. But it's coming out. Somebody's going to be in there singing. Y'all watch what I say. So let's go ahead and loop this all together. So Tim was locked up first. Then Terica was locked up. Now, lastly, Wally Yagnam, who was a producer on Nelly's hit 2002 album, Nellyville, was locked up as well. And I'm telling y'all, I've seen enough snapped in First 48. They're going to get them in one by one and find the weakest person to squeal. And I'm telling you, watch Terica get a reduced sentence for her cooperation. So Mr. Yagnam's arrest comes after federal prosecutors say he worked with Tim to fraudulently obtain insurance on Andre. Now, Yagnam was an insurance agent, and he and Tim both made false statements in life insurance applications for Andre. Child, they falsified Andre's income, net worth, medical history, employment history, and family background. Now, prosecutors say the policy was for $200,000 as well as a $200,000 accidental death rider, and that's if something happened to Andre causing him to die of something other than natural causes, i.e. he gets shot, they would collect $200,000 for that as well as $50,000 if he died within the next 10 years. They had all of this mapped out. Only thing we're waiting on now is to find out who the trigger man is. Like I said, they said that Terica was at the scene of the crime, but they're making it very certain that Terica was not the trigger man. She was not charged for pulling the trigger. Sis was charged with helping Tim set this all up. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I don't like. Well, there's plenty of stuff I don't like about Tim, but one of the main things I don't like about Tim reminds me a lot of Tupac's character Bishop in the movie Juice. Y'all remember after Bishop killed Raheem?
Control of your clean is finally in your hands with the all-new iRobot Home app. Go straight.
He came to the family, was consoling the mother and all of that. I looked back at some episodes of Sweetie Pies, and Tim was really taking his mom to the scene of the crime that happened just across the street from where his grandmother lived, knowing what it would do to his mother, right down the street from where his father was murdered. Like, are you serious? And you really was walking around holding your mama, trying to pull her together like you was hurt too? I can't stand phony people like that.
This is it?
Yeah, that's it.
They say he came out and used the phone, so they had to shoot him right here on this porch.
We've lost a lot of family members here on this street. Andre, as of late, and then before Andre, my father, and in between that was Linda's son, Monique's brother, Aaron, who was like my brother, and it's all on this one street, a few blocks from each other. Right across from Grandma's house.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it.
since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through this part of the city. And really, I've been avoiding it.
I mean, it's like all up and down the street.
Yeah.
We must stop killing, but there's just signs. Oh, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm getting sick to my stomach just seeing this place.
Child, now how twisted, demented, and dark can your mind be that you took your mom to the same place where you had your nephew murdered? Tim has some serious issues. And speaking of Tim and Andre, Tim tried to cash out on Andre's policy, but because Dum Dum falsified the insurance documents, he didn't get a dime. And according to allaboutthetea.com, Tim also had $1 million life insurance policy out on his mom, Miss Robbie, and the family has been running around frantic thinking she was the next target. Tim has had plenty of financial issues in the past, but the fact that murdering your own family to get out of your bind shows how twisted your mind really is. Tim has some serious mental issues, and looking at that inmate picture of him smiling, knowing what it's going to do to his mom, something is wrong with that man. I can't stand Tim. This is not a laughing matter. However, I do need to read what someone said on Facebook regarding Tim. Y'all, take a listen to this. Dear Big Mama Tim, first off, F you for what you did to your nephew. You were that money hungry that you put a price on your own blood head. All that money and you still couldn't get the correct Brazilian butt lift surgery to fix your grandmotherly ass shape. I hate everything about you. From them teacup ears all the way down to them crooked, flat, slew-footed, rebellious ass feet. Feet don't know which way to turn. Now let's get into them childbearing ass hips of yours. Hips spreading wider than COVID-19. Coronavirus ass hips. You shaped like north, south, east, and west. Body longer and wider than yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All that.
Esta es Corona Hard Seltzer. 0 gramos de carbohidratos, 0 gramos de azúcares, 4.5% de alcohol.
At Aspen Dental, smile for zero money down with zero worries. Plus pay zero interest if paid in full with an
design on you and you still look like somebody pregnant granny. I hate your no-hawk because it ain't a mohawk. You got on a maternity shirt and fitted slacks. Ninja, go to hell. Big mama in the kitchen ass arms. I hope your nephew's spirit haunts the F out of you. You built like every natural disaster. I ain't never seen a ninja this thick and bad built at the same time. May your nephew rest in peace. I wish nothing but the worst on your teddy bear top, trash can ass bottom, and F your French kissing ass knock knees too. Oh God, y'all. I had to record that about 12 times. Sis was over here dying laughing. Well,
that was hilarious.
That dang, and I thought I had a potty
girl.
Well, whoever that Facebook person was, they sure read him.
I mean, read him like a Surgeon General warning. Okay. Oh my God. But yeah, I just want to show y'all that real short clip. But one thing that I just learned, because I'm just now seeing this clip. One thing that I just learned, so he actually took his mom to the scene on a TV show, like it was aired live on a show.
Yes, he did. He did. And the whole time he knew that he had his nephew killed. Like, who does that? I don't understand why he would do something like that at all.
That was just so heartless. If you look at an old Sweetie Pie's last episode, Miss Robbie said he had to know someone on the phone for him to go outside. He didn't know anyone here in St. Louis. Wow. And then another thing that I was looking at, they look identical. Like Andre looked,
did. But
they look just alike.
That he was really going to try to kill his mother next.
Wow. How desperate are you to have money? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, how desperate are you to have money? Like, if you can say, I want money, but I'm not that desperate to do X, Y, and Z, what would be your limitations? I know it'd definitely be like, I want money, but I don't want it, that bad to where I would off my family or sacrifice my family, disrespect my family, for, how some people do it for publicity and things like that. Like, that is just crazy. Do you not have, you don't have any limits. Like, you would do anything for some money. And see, God don't like ugly because he couldn't get it. Good for him.
My prayers go out to Miss Robbie and her family. I know that she is really hurting right now, so my prayers go out to her and her family.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
crazy. I actually think I seen that episode too. That might have been like the last season when they showed that clip. That might have been the last season of Sweetie Pies, if I'm not mistaken.
That's just sad. Can y'all hear me? Drop a one. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I think my volume keeps going in and out for whatever reason. If y'all can't hear me, just drop a two if y'all, if my volume ended up going out. But anyway, so that's that, which is, just unbearable. And I can't even find an excuse for that man to do some stuff like that. Like, it's just crazy. But anyway, so also we have some information, and no new information, but just in case you guys hadn't heard, about 2-year-old Maliyah Bass. 2-year-old Maliyah Bass, you guys. And whenever I said Maliyah Bass' name, I had to make sure I didn't say Maliyah Davis. Is it just me or did anybody else feel like that? Because this reminds me so much of not only Maliyah Davis, but Camille Cupcake McKinley. Like, I hate looking at cases like this where a baby goes missing. Okay, but just to kind of give you guys an overall, in case you haven't heard the story. Hold on. In case you guys haven't heard the story. Like I said, Maliyah Bass was 2 years old, and she was last seen playing outside around 9:30 a.m. Okay, and they said she had a pink and white pillowcase with some letter blocks inside. The sad part about this is, and just as well as the same with Camille Cupcake McKinley case, the sad part about this is these babies are totally innocent. Totally innocent. I don't understand why somebody, if you see a child outside by themselves, because it's been rumored that the baby was outside by themselves, I don't understand why you won't return the child to their parent or knock on the door and let the parent know that their child is outside by themselves. Who would kidnap a 2-year-old innocent baby? And why? This right here, it broke my heart. It touched my heart once again, just like it was when I was looking into Camille Cupcake McKinley, just like with Maliyah Davis. Like, it was so heartbreaking to see this. Okay, so days later, there was an update basically saying that rescue crews have pulled the body of a young girl out of the bayou in Southeast Houston, because this happened in Southeast Houston. And it says that the body matches the description of Maliyah Bass. Okay, so as of right now, we don't know if it's her, but Southeast police, Houston police is saying that it definitely matches the description of her. So everybody keep your fingers crossed, stay praying about this situation, because this is just, it's horrible. And it also made me think about a time when my 2-year-old went missing. Well, my baby wasn't 2 years old when he went missing. He was about 4. And what happened was we just moved to Texas. And we stayed in some apartments where it was a whole bunch of kids that would go outside playing on the playground. And so my son and actually it happened matter of fact, now that I think about it, it happened twice. Okay, one time my son was probably about 2 years old, and that was before we moved to Texas, and me and my husband was in the bed, laying up in the bed chilling, and we actually thought he was in the house. I don't know if this ever happened to just me or anybody else. Have this ever happened to anybody else? And the house is shut down, the doors is locked, everything. And my 2-year-old just go wandering. This is the same little boy I'm about to tell y'all about. My 2-year-old just decided to open the door and go wandering outside. So all along, me and my husband is in the bed, laying down in the bed, maybe watching TV or whatever, but we're not thinking that our kids is in any danger. We thinking that our kids is in the house like they should be. And next thing you know it, my neighbor knocked on the door, and my neighbor was like, your son is outside. And my son just had on a diaper and a t-shirt. Okay. He wasn't even supposed to be outside. Diaper and a little wife beater. So that's what they call a little, y'all know. But anyway, so we was like, what? And so we look up, and my baby jotting down the street. So my point of saying this too is that things like this can't happen. It do happen. It can't happen. And because at certain ages, they smart. They smart enough to unlock the doors, walk out. They smart. But I just thank God he had grace on us enough to watch my baby and protect my baby. And we had some really good neighbors at the time. We had been in the neighborhood for a while, so they was able to knock on the door and let us know. And we was we got them and everything, and nothing happened to them. So that it was a happy ending. But I thank God for that, because we could have been in that situation. And there was another time, I'm just gonna tell y'all real quick, when we was moved to Texas, and he was like 4 years old at that time. And so he was playing outside with his siblings, and my daughter at that time, my oldest daughter, was probably about 16, maybe, or 17. And so they all playing outside on the basketball court, which is what they did every day. And so my son used to play with this Hispanic boy who didn't speak a bit of English, but him and my son became friends the moment they met. So my son decided to go in the house with his friend. Now I knew his little Mexican friend's mother. We would talk outside and sit on the porch and talk and things like that. But this day my son decides to go wander in the house with his little friend. And so my daughter and them come upstairs, like we sitting on the porch, and we was like on a 3-story balcony, and so we can actually see the kids from where the playground was at, but we didn't see him and his little friend wander off. So my daughter come and she say like, "Ma, my baby is missing." So I'm like, "What?" And she like, "He was just out here with us." Oh my God. We was frantic. Me and my husband, we run downstairs, we looking all over for him. And I mean, like the whole neighborhood instantly noticed that we was looking for a little boy. And so the whole neighborhood begin to search. So we call the police, we file a police report. We like, what the hell is going on? Like, he was just outside. We don't see him anywhere. Now, all along, he's in the house with the little 4-year-old, and his mom is gone, or else she would have known that they was in there. She would have said something to me, but he was there with his dad. His dad don't speak a bit of English. His dad do not know us, and his dad did not have no idea that the boys was even in the house, in the room. So finally, and I didn't even know where, I know anything about this man. We was fairly new to the neighborhood, and I just know that my son used to, play with her son outside. We didn't know exactly which building she stayed in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would just speak when we outside, and our kids would play together just like that. So, oh my God. So lo and behold, because everybody was knocking on doors, and I mean on all the doors out there, somebody said, "We found him." And like I said, he was in the house playing with the little boy. That right there was the scariest moment of my life. And me and my husband was just talking about that when we was looking to this story, like, oh my God, that was the scariest moment of my life. And also when he took off at 2 years old, which that really happened really quick, but he wasn't outside long. But that's really scary for a parent. That's really scary for a parent to not know where a baby is at. And I can't imagine what the parents is going through. I cannot imagine. Now, normally I'm following these cases. I'm following these stories. I'm in all the Facebook groups when it comes to these stories. I'm looking on the parents page, but I haven't really, been in tune to this story right here. But I just want to say that, like, I can't imagine, and my heart really goes out to the family. And I really hope with everything in me that ain't no funny business behind this story right here. If any of y'all have any updates or know anything about this story, then please, because something could have been reported last night, this morning, or whatever. But from the last time I heard is that they found a body of a description of a little girl. So we just gonna hope to God that it's not her. My prayers go out to any little girl who body that might have been found in the bayou. So this is just like a really tragic story. And like I said, my heart just goes out to the mom, because I'm just thinking about that pain that I felt and that worry that I felt when I was looking for my child. So it's just crazy. Hey, G Money. Hey, everybody. Because the parents allow it. Yeah, and a lot of times because, the parents actually do. A lot of times, the parents do allow it. A lot of times the parents is not on their P's and Q's when it comes to their kids. Like, I really have learned, and that's the reason why when I bought my first house, I made sure I had a fenced-in yard. And I'm like, if y'all want to play, y'all play back there in that backyard. If I'm not outside, you can't play in the front yard. Like, you can't go to the park. The park is directly across the street from me, but you can't go to the park by yourself. Like, I'm always there because of situations like that. And I just really think that God really had grace on me when it came to that right there. He really covered me, and I could have fell victim to this. Well, my baby could have, because we have to keep in mind too, there's a lot of sex traffickers and all type of just evil people in the neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? That just do anything to these kids. Rape babies and, just all type of stuff. People doing organ trafficking now. It's just a lot of, like, this world is like really evil. And so I couldn't imagine having to go through this having to go days without knowing my child was there. I mean, just for like an hour of my son being missing in an apartment building. Here we are in a new state. We barely know people. The kids, we allowing them to go outside and mix and mingle and play with other people. And, but just that little hour, if it was an hour that I didn't know his whereabouts, oh my God, y'all, I freaked out. So I couldn't imagine having to go days without knowing my child is at. Like, that's just crazy. So our hearts and our prayers go out to the family of Maliyah Baz. Did y'all want to say anything?
Because I went through an experience like that with my son when he was 2. We were in the apartment taking a nap, and all of a sudden I couldn't feel him beside me anymore. And so something said, get up. I jumped up. I looked all over the place. He was nowhere to be found. In the apartment that we was living in, you have to go up the steps when you come through the front door, and then you will be in the actual apartment. Something told me to look down the steps, and the door was wide open. I ran downstairs. Mind you, it's snowing outside, and I'm looking all over the place. I'm yelling and screaming for him, and it was some kids outside building a snowman, and I was like, have y'all seen a little boy running out here? And they were all like, yeah, we saw a little boy. He was with a little dog at the time, and I had a little dog, and he was white. So come to find out, a man caught my son walking in the snow on his way to the store. He had actually was smart enough to take $2 out my purse, thinking he going to get the dog some milk.
Girl, he was not on his way to the store.
He was on his way to the store, and I'm telling you, where we lived at, he could have gotten hit. Somebody could have snatched him. All types of things was running through my mind, like, and it hadn't been a long period of time, but it seemed like an eternity at that moment. Like, I was so scared, I was shook, and I just couldn't believe that he didn't have no shoes on. Again, it was snowing. He didn't have no shoes on, but he had his little coat on, and the dog was with him. With
he took the dog with him, girl.
Had the dog with him, getting ready to go in Winn-Dixie, talking about getting the dog some milk.
Wow. Yeah, that's like the worst experience ever. And see, with mine, my son, he being the youngest, he's my youngest baby. And so he have 3 older siblings. Okay, so at that time, his oldest sister was probably about 16. My oldest son was probably about 14. And my daughter was probably about 7 or 8. So being the fact that, I have 4 children, and being the fact he was the youngest, maybe I put too much responsibility on them as a mother, because they was new in the neighborhood and they running around and they playing. And my oldest daughter, who's 16, she on the basketball court. She can't keep her eye on him. And we sitting on the balcony and, we just talking and chilling on the balcony. But, we would every so often look like count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there they go. They good. 1, 2, 3, 4. They good. But we thinking too at the same time that they good because they got it's 4 of them out there. It's not like he the only child and he the only baby out there. With a lot of these situations you see where it's just them out there, or they might be the only child, or like in the case of Cupcake McKinley, she only had like an 8-year-old brother that was out there with her. And so I'm thinking, because he got 3 older siblings, out there with him, that they watching each other as well. Like, even if I go run to the bathroom or I go give me a cup of water or something like that, they got each other. And I've always stressed out to my kids, when they go together, they go in groups and always look out for each other. But like I said, they in a new neighborhood. They finally somewhere where they can play with a bunch of kids in the apartment. And it was just that quick. It happened just that quick, y'all. Things like this can happen at the blink of an eye. I don't want nobody to take away from this like, oh, you were just an unfit ass mother. No, I wasn't. Don't go there. Like, things like this can just happen at the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
and so
really, he was, we all had went to sleep together. So I'm thinking that we are taking a nap, not expecting for my child to get up and leave the house. So
right.
Things can happen that you are unaware of quickly.
Right. Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. So we really don't know what the case may be. And then, you also do have some unfit parents, that just don't pay attention to their child, maybe getting high or just doing whatever, the unthinkable, and just not really paying attention to their child. Or it might be a case of neglect. You have different situations. So we don't really know the fullness of this situation right here until everything gets thoroughly investigated and put out there for us. But so right now I'm really not going to, bash the mom, bash the dad, because I've been in her place before, and I've been in that situation twice. With the same little curious little George. I call him Curious George. Okay. I've been in that situation twice. So I know that it's something that can happen at the spur of the moment. And I know the feeling that you get when it happened, and I can't imagine having to deal with that day by day and your child. I can't imagine getting a knock on the door saying we found a body that fits the description of a little girl. Like that right there. Oh my God. So we just gonna go ahead and keep her parents in prayer. We're not gonna really judge the situation, especially right now. It's too soon. It's too soon. So right now we just kind of keeping our fingers crossed that it's not her. But if it's not her, it's somebody else. It's another little girl. Okay, so and Houston is a big city. It's a real big city, and it's a lot going on. Like, a lot of times when you have big cities like that, you have a lot of child traffickers, sex traffickers, and pedophiles and stuff. I mean, they everywhere, but especially in big cities like that. So we just gonna really keep our fingers crossed and really pray when it comes to this story, because I would hate for this to end like another Cupcake McKinley or Maliyah Davis story. Like, I don't even want to go down that road again, because that was too much for us the last time. If anybody remember that, drop a 1. Do y'all remember the Cupcake McKinley or Camellia Cupcake McKinley or Maliyah Davis story? I actually have a girl in my group who has been following the Maliyah Davis story, and she even go to the court dates and everything. So you know what? I'm gonna reach out to her. I haven't talked to her in a minute, but I'm gonna reach out to her and ask her, because she's at the trials. She's right there in Houston, so she makes it to all the trials. So I'm gonna kind of see if there's have been any updates and stuff, and if it is, we'll go ahead and report it for y'all. So but yeah, so it's a sad situation. Definitely keep this baby and her parents in prayer. Okay, so if y'all have not heard about the Jacob Blake case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about the Jacob Blake case. We have a full video that we're going to show y'all. So we're going to watch the video real quick and we're going to discuss the actual video. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video for you guys. And if you guys haven't saw it or don't know about it, not familiar with it, you will get familiar after watching this video. The video also has the credits, not the credits, what is it called? The caption. So as you watching the video, if it's something that you don't understand about what's going on, read the caption as well, y'all. It's really deep. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for y'all.
Okay, well, Malika has dropped off for a second. She'll be back on in a few minutes while she's trying to get this video together. In the meantime, how's everybody in the chat doing?
Hey, y'all.
Kanisha, this the phone call. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay.
Hey, Bree. Hey. Yes, I can hear you. How you doing? I'm doing all right.
Lanice, if you can hear me, mute up. Hey to everyone in the chat. What's going on? How y'all doing
I
today?
got kicked out of stream, y'all.
You and Lanice both.
I don't know what's going on. I got kicked out of stream, y'all, but I'm
She
back,
had to
y'all.
drop down. She got her phone call she was talking
Oh,
about, so she had
okay.
to drop down.
Okay. Yeah, I got kicked out of stream, y'all, real quick. I'm like, what the hell just happened? But let me go ahead and find that video for y'all. So like I said, we have the full video. Girl, I was panicking, like, what the hell just happened?
Ain't nothing but the devil.
Girl, I'm telling you, he was so busy, don't he? Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure. I gotta make sure we have some sound. So let me redo it again. Okay. Let me know if you guys drop a 2 if you guys can't hear. I'm gonna restart it.
Wow. Why the fuck you shoot him that many times? Why the fuck y'all shoot him? Bro, why the fuck did y'all just shoot him? Why the fuck y'all shoot that man? Police so fucking racist. Y'all just shot him for no fucking reason. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Bump them. Crack ass crackers. Crack ass crackers. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. I don't know. Use our tasers for black people. That's what you talking about. Fuck the police. Fuck the law. Crack ass tracker right there. Another crack ass tracker over there. Y'all ain't here to protect us. Y'all should have changed. Why the fuck y'all ain't changed?
Did somebody say no sound? You didn't hear? You didn't get the sound? Kanisha, did y'all get to hear the
I
sound?
heard it. I heard it.
Oh, okay. Did anybody let me know if y'all didn't hear the sound? Okay, so yeah, that was really sad. That was the case of Jacob Blake. So one Oh, okay. I thought y'all were saying I didn't get no sound. Okay, so one point that the guy that was yelling made, that's why I wanted to make sure y'all had the sound, was the fact they could have tased him. This is also what I was telling y'all when I was talking to the girls about it. I said, well, dang, why they didn't tase him? You know, I said, why? You said, Lanice, we hear you. Lanice not on right now, Cynthia.
She must be delayed.
Oh, yeah, she's not on right now. And that was one of the things I said, like, you know, if it was any kind of struggle, if it was any type of resist or whatever they might say in it, it was a tussle prior to them actually shooting him. Why didn't y'all tase him, especially if he got children in the car? He had children in the car, right, Kanisha? If you got children in the car, why would they be so sloppy and messy to shoot him and his children right there? Like, y'all, I don't know when they're gonna get enough. So at this point, you know, of course, they were burning the streets down, they were protesting, and things got a little bit ugly. So I have some update when it comes to that. And this happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, I believe. Yeah. So let me go ahead and let me play this quick update just to kind of show you guys what came out of that. Okay, like people are tired, and it's not gonna get no better until the police learn to respect us. I mean, period. Once again, let me re-screen share so I can make sure y'all have some sound.
I was wondering why they didn't tase him too, because at that point his back was turned to them, so he really wasn't a threat at that time when he turned his back. I mean, were they mad because he walked away?
Yeah, and that kind of make me think about the whole George Floyd situation. When you have somebody who is in handcuffs, they are not a threat to you. They can't be a threat to you. Hell, they in handcuffs. And when you have more than one officer on the scene, come on now, you can't tell me it ain't something else they can do other than gun them down. And this is the reason why people is hollering defund the police. People is mad as hell. And I really don't blame them. Now, I've still been talking about I'm not really for, defunding the police. I'm more for, police reform and things like that. But you really can't blame people for having that mindset and for being upset because, hell, look what they have to go through. So this what was the community. The community went into outrage, as they should have, after it happened.
Hey. You don't need to be here either. No. Okay, you gonna squeeze your ass right in between? Ain't no damn rule. Everybody lock up! Y'all wanna protest? Everybody lock up! But if you keep fast, they're gonna start shooting their tanks. They're done. All you wanna do is talk to a supervisor and get some money. Man! Some fucking ass. Man! Just got shot, Jacob Blake. Man! I'm hurt, man. Y'all took his life, man.
My bad, y'all. And the thing is too, they took his life. Not it seemed like they have no regards to people outside watching, the fact that people are recording, people are going live. They don't care. Like they are straight up ruthless. I remember I want to say it was Ice Cube. Somebody helped me. Oh no, it was Tupac, I think it was, that was saying the police is the gang. Hell. While the police on the streets trying to clean up the gangs, they are a gang. They are a gang by itself. And so it just really like it makes no sense for you to kill an unarmed man or a man who you already have detained, you already have in handcuffs. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. So of course they took to the streets and they began to riot. They began to protest. And it brought out the whole emotions and energy of what happened to George Floyd and many other black men that was gunned down by the police. So this right here, like I said, is still a open case, open investigation. We really don't have too many details, but I can tell you right now that they are not having it. They are not playing.
He's not
They
dead though.
huh?
He's
Oh
not
yeah, I
dead.
will. Yeah, I am gonna get to that too. They did burn down the police station. I mean, the courthouse. They did burn down the courthouse. They was not playing. But yeah, so he is not dead. He is in what critical condition, Kanisha?
I think he's stable now, but they said that he was paralyzed from the waist down. But then this morning on the news, when I heard it, they saying that it's possible that later on, I guess after some rehab and stuff, that he may be able to get his feeling back to where he can physically walk again. So
Thank God it didn't end like George Floyd. Thank God he still have his life. But they paralyzed him. They paralyzed him. And that's crazy because I don't remember, like I don't watch the news a lot, but I don't think that we got that news coverage here. A couple times that I have been watching the news, all they've been talking about is COVID-19, the upcoming election, COVID-19, upcoming election. I haven't really seen any news press or coverage about this particular situation.
because he ain't dead, that's why.
So we would have had to die in order for us
To
to
get news
hear on the
coverage,
news.
and Kenosha, Wisconsin, is literally like close to Illinois. Like let's say like Waukegan, I think it's close to Waukegan. So it's actually like neighboring. They're neighboring each other. So that's why I guess we got the news coverage up here because they talk about him up here a lot. But he was from Evanston, Illinois, and he moved to Kenosha, Wisconsin. I don't like a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he wasn't from out there.
Wow, that's crazy. And that's really sad. That's really sad. Well, we also got an update from what came out of one of them protesters today. Let
Yeah,
me
I
see if
just heard that a white boy shot and killed two black people and then injured another one at the protest last night.
mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all that real quick. Like I said, we kind of navigating through a few different stories, and I have to make sure I can pull everything up. So let me do that. But yeah, 17-year-old white supremacist identified as Kyle Rittenhouse shoots and kills two of the protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and police let him go. So this was another thing that really sparked the outrage was the fact that, as you can see, this guy is walking around with what it looked like, what, an AK-47? I don't know, but a shotgun, a rifle. He walking around with a rifle, and you see the cops standing right back here in the back. He walking around with a rifle, and he was really allowed to go shoot a couple protesters, and they let him go. They let him go. The police did nothing. Now, I'm just saying, because we can talk over here, right? Let the shoe have been on the other foot. Ain't no way in the hell. They would have tackled him.
So did he get arrested? Like after this?
They arrested him, but they ended up letting him go. I don't know if they let him go on bail or anything because I haven't got, the full details to it. This literally came out about a good 20 minutes before we went live. Because as I was pulling up the other information and the videos and stuff, this ended up popping up, and I said, wow, so they got a good current update. So good. So let me go ahead and grab that real quick so we can be able to share that. But I actually seen it on my Facebook page 20 minutes. Somebody posted it 20 minutes. So before we went live. So I really didn't get a chance to read through everything. But so I'm sure he was detained because it said police let him go. So let's just take a look real quick. Amid ongoing protesters in a wake of Kenosha police shooting and paralyzed Jacob Blake, one man with a AR, confronted protesters on Tuesday before opening fire and killing two. Then he managed to brazenly walk past police and disappear. Oh, so they never even captured him. Well, hold on. Or did they? Later on. That's when a white vigilante appears on video with his gun. He reportedly had already shot someone several blocks away, and he was being chased by protesters who was trying to subdue him. Now, this is a crazy thing, too. This young man was only 17 years old. He already programmed. You could tell he programmed. 17 years old. The vigilante falls to the ground as he's being chased, and then begins unloading his weapon, striking and killing two people. And then the unthinkable happened as police swarmed the area in patrol cars and fortified vehicles. The vigilante, gun clearly visible around his chest, put his hands up in the air. The police vehicles all pass him as the crowd screams, "He's the shooter." It's a stunning contrast. The white vigilante posed a clear and present danger, even if cops didn't know he was the shooter. Even if the cops didn't know he was the shooter, he got a rifle on him. Okay? Didn't know he was the shooter. Yet Jacob Blake, an unarmed black man, was shot in the back several times as he tried to get in his car. Jacob is now paralyzed from the waist down. Y'all, if y'all can't see that something is wrong with this society, I don't know what to tell you.
It's 45. They got a lot to do with 45.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I'm just saying. He gave him a right. They think
orchestrated this too.
That's what I'm saying. They think because he in the office that is giving them free privilege and free right to do whatever they want to. He already put it out there. He already tell them, he already told them during George Floyd, if you see him, shoot him. He basically putting them out there. Yes, I'm blaming it all on him. This is his doing. This is what's given white supremacists and mostly white people who don't like black people, the courage to just come up against us. And there's a lot of police officers that's white supremacists too. So
you clearly see the racism. Like, you clearly see it. It's clear as day that we not, the black men are not respected. They're not looked at as equals, because here it is. You have a 17-year-old, basically a kid, and he walking around with a visible weapon, and you got witnesses, a ton of witnesses saying he the shooter, but yet nothing happened. And here you have an unarmed black man who's trying to get into his vehicle. Now, I don't know if he was trying to get in his vehicle to grab a weapon, which I highly doubt it, or to pull off, or whatever the case may be. But he didn't pose a threat from what we can see, because his back was turned. And you gun him down not once. Not these police is shooting to kill. Not once, not twice, but 7 times. 7 times. Leaving this man paralyzed. Now, because I'm pretty sure some people out there that just really wasn't conscious to the racism that's happening today. A lot of people want to believe, especially non-blacks, they want to believe like, that's all in your head. Ain't no racism going. Racism is dead. Racism is history. You know what I'm saying? But you can clearly see just by reading this story right here what's going on. Racism is not dead. It's very much alive. And y'all, this is just that
Me and this
story.
white girl had we cheered on the same cheerleading team, like a recreational cheerleading squad. And I thought she was my friend. So like I was in middle school and she was with a group of other white girls. And she walked up to me and she asked me, she was like, so me and my friends wanted to know, how does it feel to be the N-word with the ER at the end? And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Are you seriously going to sit here and ask me that? So I had to like really just get up and walk away because I was really about to dead her ass, like right there in the lunchroom. But I didn't want to get suspended because prom was coming up. So I really just had to just turn the other cheek and walk away. So
That's crazy.
I'm like, you've been around me, you've been around my other friends, and we all black. But it's like these little girls come around, you want to ask how to feel to be a N-word. Girl, if you don't get up out of my face, like really. So I mean, racism is, I don't know. I'm not racist. I don't have anything against anybody of the other race. But if you call me an N-word, oh yeah, you better run. Because I'm going to beat your ass. Simple.
That's simple. And some people believe just because they don't say the N-word that they not racist or nobody should consider them to be racist. I never called anybody a nigger out loud. I never said it out loud. So I'm not racist. You have no proof that I'm racist. I never called nobody that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just ridiculous to me. It's just ridiculous. Like, no, you might not have said it, but your actions show it, sweetheart. Your actions show it. And literally before we did this lab, I just did a lab in case y'all missed it on my Maliyah the Warrior channel. I just did a lab kind of touching on racism and how it's affecting our community. And 5 minutes after I got off my live, a racist person who don't want to be acknowledged as being racist, but you definitely are, posted literally 5 minutes later, talking about, oh, but what about what you said about me? Or what about, you know what? Forget what I said about you. If I ever had any run-ins with you, I would have slapped you up. You better be glad my only response to you was to say what I said and not do what I wanted to do to you. Because racism is alive. And, people are really getting tired of being degraded and mistreated and talked about and looked down. Because now I take this stuff more personally. You see what I'm saying? Now when you have a person of a non-black race and they coming at you and they steady degrading you. And now I kind of take it real personally. Because before I thought it was more of a self issue, but now I'm like, no, this is, more an attack, not just on me, but on my people. So, yeah, like I had to touch on that. I had to let that be known because this is really something that we dealing with within our community. Like we dealing with black men getting gunned down. We dealing with our 2-year-old babies coming up missing. Like, okay, that baby might have snuck out the house or that might, anything, but nobody had the right to take her. See what I'm saying? Like the devil is literally lurking around God's people, period. He is literally lurking. He is active and he is busy. And he is trying to take us out one by one. And he using some of these even undercover white supremacists, using some of these people to target us and to attack us. What made this 17-year-old boy even have a confidence or even feel like it was okay to take a gun on the scene with a bunch of black protesters? Were they annoying you? Did they do something to you? I mean, come on now. It's just too much. I'm going to read some of the comments in here, you guys. Just because he was a drill rapper, they showed no regard to human life. Always. It's always like that. It's always like that. And what they'll do is They'll look at somebody's lifestyle or they'll look at somebody's criminal history and they'll put it out there as if they deserve the treatment that they got. You see what I'm saying? As if they deserved it because he was a rapper or because he sold drugs in his past or because he did this, that, and the other. This also kind of reminds me a little bit of the Drayshawn Reed thing. But like Kanisha said, he actually survived it. But at the same time, same difference. His back was turned. Shot, what, 15 times? No, this is just sad. Laying down but listening. And we aren't going to get over it. I don't think so either. You should have punched her right in the mouth and said, how does that feel? You know what? If I ever got the opportunity to do it, I will. I would really sit down behind bars for a couple of days, kiss my husband, kiss my children, and be like, I love y'all, but mommy will be out. I will see you soon. If I ever had the opportunity, I would. And I'm not all for violence. But what I'm not for is always being disrespected and degraded from somebody who just hate me and actually said it before out their mouth. I hate her. Well, I don't think about you enough to hate you. I wish I would let you seep down into my spirit like that. But that spirit that's operating in you, I hate it. I hate it. You know, and I just think that we live in a society where we will never be looked at as equal. We will never be looked at as equal. Period. Lika, can you give your take on FBG Duck? We did FBG Duck. We did a live on Kanisha. When was that? When we did a live on FBG Duck?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. Ms. Denali, go back to our lab about 2 weeks ago. We showed the footage, and we had a quick conversation about him about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we definitely did. We definitely talked about that during the time. Everything was being talked about. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. I don't cuss, but this video nearly brought it out. Oh my goodness. The simple life. Hey, I didn't even know that was you. That's my brother right there. I didn't even know that was you. Yeah, this video, it did the same for me. It did the same for me. And y'all know, like, we really don't like to, we like to have a little fun over here sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And we like to, but you know, when there's so much going on in the world, sometimes we find ourselves being presented with all these different sad cases. You know, these cases where we like, oh my God, not again, you know, and we have to bring them up. We have to address them. We have to talk about them. And I don't care if anybody take it as if, oh, she being racist. Oh, I don't agree with her. Okay, you right to your own opinion. You have right to your own opinion. But, you know, when we first started this channel, our whole thing was we wanted to bring you guys real and raw news and just sit back and have a discussion on it. Okay, you know, as kings and queens, just sit back and just have a discussion. And I remember at one point, it was so much going on back to back to back. And Kanisha was like, oh my God, not again. Like, I don't remember that Kanisha. She was like, I don't even want to talk about anything else sad like this with the whole Black Lives Matter. And then we had to do the Ku Klux Klan in Alabama and the lynchings all going all over around the world. And
Yeah.
So she was just like, I am tired of it.
That was overwhelming for me. Like, I'm like, whew, I can't talk about it no more because it's like ever since George Floyd, it was like seemed like it was like coming back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. And my head was hurting. I was like, this is too much for me. I was getting mad at myself, like mad at everybody around me. It was just too much.
And then on top of that, we had a lot of black on black crime and stuff that we was dealing with in our own community with our own people killing each other. Like right now, I just think like the devil is running rampant. He know his time is short. He is just running rapid. And you can really tell that, I don't know if I should say this or not, but, and this is just my own personal belief based on my faith, but you can really tell that we are God chosen people. because we are under an attack. We have always been under an attack since the beginning of time. Anybody agree with me, or is that just me? Like, because for me, you know, going through a life of spirituality, trying to identify myself, you know, as far as you know, who God created me to be, and remembering, I mean, not remembering, but aligning myself with people who was like really deep into the Bible, and people that was really deep in spirituality, and the Simple Life being one, and his wife. I would always talk to them, you know, about certain things, and I know he remembered, you know, just questions that I have, you know, taking this walk or whatever. And so it was actually his wife, the Simple Life. It was actually his wife that brought me so much information, like, you know, do you know who you are? Do you know that you are one of God's chosen people? Do you know that we are his chosen priesthood? And that really woke me up. I ain't saying I'm perfect, because y'all know back far, but just to know who you are, it means a great deal. So this time that we living in right here confirms it for me. Like, it really confirms it for me. It's like, wow, we must be a special people to you. For the devil to work overtime to attack us so hard, for us to be going through this all our life, our ancestors going through it from generation to generation to generation, we dealing with hate, racism, slavery. I mean, for us to have gone through this since the beginning of time to now, like, to me, I don't care. I believed it when it was told to me, but this is more like confirmation to me. This is confirmation to me. Like, we are definitely Israel. We are definitely God's chosen people. And like I told y'all in the other group, I mean, not the other group, but the other channel that I had, and I had to address some stuff, because I kind of think that people outside of our race don't even respect who we are. They don't have no regard, no respect for who we are. And mainly one of the reasons is because they on the outside looking in, thinking either we don't know who we are, or we don't respect who we are. We don't respect ourselves. We don't respect our sisters and brothers, because we killing each other. You know, and so Kanisha say it's all 45 fault. Kanisha say I blame 45. Okay, listen. I blame the devil. Kanisha blame our president.
Both of them.
Kanisha blame our president for everything.
I can't stand that man.
I don't care what's going on. Kanisha be like, it could be something that Kanisha, it could be like anything. Kanisha be like, that's because of 45 in office. And you know, I definitely think that a lot of things, you know, and I had said it before, like, he responsible for this house, he responsible for this nation. So I definitely believe a lot of things fall on his lap, you know. But I also think that certain things, you know, certain people have to take accountability for the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your own evil spirit that causes you to shoot somebody in the back 7 times. You know, because I do believe you have some good cops out there. We don't really see them on the news. We don't really see the heroes on the news and stuff like that. But you have a lot of bad cops, you know, people that's just, and cops got evil spirits. So should I say evil spirited bad cops? You have a lot of those.
Like, I be thinking, like, what goes through a black officer's head after a white officer shoots a black person, like, and they come to the scene, like, what do they think? Like, I always wanted to know that. Like, how do they feel? Like, do they get mad at that person, or, you know, they just, hey, I got a job to do, I gotta do this, gotta do that, can't, you know, let they interfere with my job. Like, I just be want to know, how do they feel?
Or if they right there, or if they right there while it's happening.
Right.
And why don't nobody speak up? Why don't they speak up? Like, why are we not speaking up and supporting each other, uplifting each other, you know, putting a shield over each other? Like, why are we not doing that? Why are we sitting around you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know people would gather together and protest and things like that, but I'm just saying, like, it just seemed like, I don't know, y'all. I don't really want to say anything, you know, bad or whatever, but because I'm still kind of going through what I was going through before I got on this live. I actually told the girls, like, I didn't even know if I wanted to do it because I wasn't in a good headspace, because I myself is dealing with a racist bigot who constantly attacking me. And then she's a narcissistic bigot, racist bigot, because she'll turn around and say, and say she being the one attacked. Like, what the hell? So I don't even want to get personal. I can get personal. Hi.
I said I've actually felt that from you. I felt like that's the headspace that you were in after coming off the other live and everything. And you know, that's what we're here for, to support you. You are our sister. We know that you are not what she says you are. You are nothing what she is trying to get the world and what she is to see and portray. You're nothing like that. We know that, and your supporters know that.
Facts.
The baby
right,
said
Baby said facts.
Well, I appreciate that, y'all. And I definitely appreciate y'all supporting me and loving on me. But yes, to be honest with y'all probably, everybody that's listening, y'all probably can sense my energy is really not the same. If y'all new to the channel, go back and watch our last week's video and listen to this one right here. You could definitely tell my energy is not the same. And that's the reason why I say, you know, this is not anything that I'm willing to do. I'm not willing to give my time and my energy to situations like this. Like, I really want it dead. I'm tired of going back and forth about it, because I don't want to give that, you know, my time, my energy to that. I'd rather put it into this. I'd rather be here with my people and we sharpening each other and we looking into these stories and we crying together and we, you know, praying together. Like, I'd rather put my energy into that. We have a 2-year-old girl who's missing. You know, we have a man who's a father, a black man who's a father who was just gunned down and his children won't see him no more. I would rather put my energy into looking into these stories and speaking about these stories. Like, I couldn't even wrap my mind around what it is I wanted to say to y'all, because I told the girls before we came on here, I'm like, y'all gonna have to really cover me because I'm not really in a good headspace right now. And then when I get off of here, I gotta shift my mindset and do some things with my kids. I have some stuff I have to take care of. So I'm like, I really don't have the time to be putting energy into that stuff right there. You know, but some things just had to be said. And when it comes to racism, like, it's staring us right in the face. And just that little article alone that we read, like, it's so evident, y'all. And I was one of them people that wanted to believe, and I'm gonna tell y'all, to be honest with y'all, I was one of them people that wanted to believe that it wasn't really like that, because, like, I was talking to Kanisha the other day. I was telling Kanisha, like, in certain cities and certain states, you can really see, like, police brutality and you can see things like that. But in a neighborhood that I grew up in, you know, in a not the whole, you know, city of Detroit, but just in a small little town, a small little neighborhood I grew up in, we don't really have that. The racial profiling, the police killings, like, we don't really have that. In a neighborhood that I grew up in, most of the police officers are related to us. And they look out for people. I mean, let me just give y'all a little tea. How do you think, if y'all don't know who BMF is, Black Mafia Family, how do y'all think they were able to originate in my small area, Southwest Detroit? How do you think they were able to originate there, get all of this money? Because remember, when they was arrested, they was worth like $1 billion. Collect all this money, put the whole city on. In my area where I grew up at, put the whole city on, where when I was 17, we had 17-year-olds, I told y'all, driving BMWs to school. Okay, put the whole city on. How do y'all think they was able to move all of this money through the city and you don't hear about stuff like this going on? And it was a big drug business in my neighborhood. So I didn't really grow up seeing a lot of the police brutality and racial profiling and stuff like that. I didn't grow up seeing it because, like I said, the cops is being paid in the neighborhood I moved in. They extort the young dudes. As long as the young dudes cashing them out, they act like they don't even see them. And most of them is they cousins, they uncles, they brothers. So I was one of the ones that didn't want to believe that this stuff was, or I'm not going to say didn't want to believe it, but I actually didn't see that this stuff was going on. And then once I left my neighborhood that I grew up in all my life, I moved to a certain part of Texas where it was kind of like a little small area, small neighborhood. And I didn't really see too much there because it was predominantly, blacks and Mexicans in this neighborhood. And so I didn't really see a lot of racism and racist cops. It wasn't really into just all of these recent incidents and the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that to where I started. Actually, I want to say, Mike Brown case was probably the first time but I thought that was just something that just happened in that area. I didn't know that this was something that actually happens all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of oblivious to that stuff because I'm living in my neighborhood. Like I said, shoot, our police officers is gangsters. But and so now that I'm awakened to it and I actually see it, I'm like, oh wow, like it's unbelievable to me. Like I could not imagine, somebody in my neighborhood walking away from the cops and they shooting them 7 times in the back. Hell, they run from the police and the police just stop chasing them because 9 times out of 10 they're gonna run into them again. They're gonna try to catch them off guard and lock their butt up. Or you even have some cops that be like, I'm not about to chase you. When I see your mama in the grocery store, I'm gonna let her know that I just caught you. See what I'm saying? Like I'm not used to seeing all of that. But now I'm like heavily invested in, change. And I don't know if I'm quite there when it comes to defunding the police, but I'm almost there. Like another one of these type of cases, I'm probably going to be out there hollering defund the police. Have anybody minds changed since the last time we talked about reform and defunding the police? Have anybody mindsets changed since then? Is there anybody out there that's pro defund the police? Or are y'all don't defund the police? We just need police reform. We need laws to be reformed. How do you girls feel about it? Have y'all mindsets changed since the last time we spoke on it?
Nope, I think it just should be like a reform. I mean, you can't get rid of the police like permanently. I mean, that's not gonna happen. We know it's not gonna happen. So, I mean, I'm all for like reform, like find better ways to train the police, like maybe de-escalate and stop always going for the gun the first thing because you got tasers, you got mace. I don't know if they still carry batons, but I mean, it's other ways around, trying to handle a situation besides pulling out your gun. Like, is that all you got? Is a gun? Is that all you worth? Is a gun?
Are you that threatened by the black man to where you have to shoot him down? I mean, even though he's unarmed, even though he's handcuffed in a lot of situations that we've seen, you feel that threatened by him to where that's all you got? Anyway, how about you, Lanice? Have your mindset changed since then? I'm still more on the side of police reform, like I said, but I don't want to go out there hollering defund the police because I'm like, hell, who am I going to call if somebody break into my house or if I'm the victim?
45.
Shut up, Kanisha. My president is black. It's like I'm just they gonna thumbs down my video just because I said that. You better leave the Trump monster alone.
They know he ain't shit.
That's sad. Like this whole story is sad, and my heart and everything and my prayers go out to his family and to him. Thank God that he made it through. he made it through. Even though he's paralyzed, he still have his life. He still have a whole life ahead of him to live. It's unfortunate that, he had to be paralyzed, had to come out of this paralyzed. But
maybe this situation is a start to something new. Like, he survived something that was probably was supposed to take him out. So maybe this is going to spark some type of change. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it took for this to happen to him to maybe possibly start a change. I don't know. It's a reason
I
why.
definitely agree. I
Yeah.
didn't even look at it like that, but I definitely agree. This Lanice, the server keeps throwing me off, shaking my head. My son's phone. Oh. You keep throwing you off. Did not know that name, and that name got demon in it too. I was like, who the hell is that?
Lord, I'm glad I can't. I ain't got no options to no ranch because
Girl,
I sure
she's
would have
scared.
betted that.
She's scared. Y'all, look at these spirits coming over here trying to mess with us. Lord have mercy. The Simple Light said he all about police reform. Yeah, I'm with that too. But I really wish that it is some type of medium. Do y'all think, this is another question I have for y'all, and I'm gonna do a quick would you rather question, and we're gonna kind of discuss that before we go off. Do y'all think that this next election, and let's say Biden, Kanisha's husband,
Yeah.
Joe Biden. Let's say Joe Biden was to win his next election. Do y'all think that he will implement? Do y'all believe that he would implement some type of police reform or change towards equality for our people? Or do y'all believe that this might be something that we're going to deal with even with him in the office? I would love to hear y'all thoughts on that. But I'm going to start with the wife of Joe Biden, Kanisha.
Yes, it's me, the first lady. I'm just playing.
Kanisha thinks she Camellia Harris, whatever lady.
Oh no, I don't want to be her that. Good, but I don't know. Like I was telling y'all the other day when we was talking about this. I don't know. I really don't. Let me see how I can say this. I don't know. I think so in a way that I'm sorry about my kids, y'all. I think so in a way he might change it because that's something I think he was talking about before this whole DNC thing came up. Because we
I
not gonna
can't
hear
really
Donald.
hear you. I can't really hear you. Baby is trying to take the
Hold
mic.
on, honey. Let me get him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear her real good. And let me see y'all thoughts in the chat. Put y'all thoughts in the chat. Do y'all think Joe Biden gonna change some laws? Gonna have a police reform, new tactics and things out? You think that he's gonna fight for equality for blacks, or do you think that things might still be the same even with him in the office? Now, that's a good question. I want to know what y'all think.
I
I'm
don't
not saying.
know. Only time will tell.
Dang, where you come from?
I told you I was still up here. Just keep throwing me off.
I can't deal with you today. That girl like a ghost.
But no, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Only time will tell. We just have to wait and see if he gets elected.
It's gonna be a time where Joe Biden and Donald Trump come up against each other. So we definitely gonna hear it. Like before election time comes, we gonna hear it.
You gonna have to you better go ahead and put that on mute and stick your boob out and handle your business. Was I supposed to say that?
Oh wait, no, I don't wanna like that now.
No, you ain't you still breastfeeding? That's what I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about.
talking about the baby girl? Nah, they over here fighting over these toys. This is all day. They usually be quiet when we laugh, but my son is the boss baby around here. He run it.
The Simple Life, I actually agree with you. And not just because you my brother from another mother, but I actually agree with you. And I've said it. I was like, my family can vouch for me and matter of fact, the girls can vouch for me that I actually said that I think Trump gonna do another 4 years. Now I could be wrong, but I've actually, if he do win, I've actually said it. I've said it to a few people that can vouch for me. Like, yeah, she said it. I think he's gonna do another 4 years, and I don't think that. Not only do I don't think that things will change, whether whoever gets in office, I don't think that things will change. And so, if we don't see a change, and Joe Biden is in the office, then Kanisha and the others can't say, oh, it's this Trump, this because of Trump. Then they gonna realize this is just a part of life and the life that we live. Because remember, like, we are literally living on the devil's playground, okay? Right now. But
well, let's just
yeah,
hope that 45 don't get reelected, okay? Black people on these that's listening to this live right now, get y'all butts up and go out there and vote. Cause hey, I cannot do another 4 years or 45.
And I don't know how much I can stress that either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never push anybody as to which way to vote, because me myself personally, like, I really consider myself like to be a libertarian, or a liberal. The only reason why I say that is because I'm not really for voting for the lesser evils. Like, I'm really not for that. But at the end of the day, I still want my voice to be heard. And so, like I told my husband, I said, one thing I'm definitely going to do before the election, I'm a fast. I might do like a 7-day fast. And if you all want to join me, I can put something together in a group or on Facebook. And you all can join me in like a 7-day fast before the election. And not only would that fast kind of like help clear your mind and steer you in the way, not that you want to go, but in the way that God is leading you to go, it would also help us cover this election, and cover it against any type of fraudulent plays or anything that might try to come up against it. So that was one thing that I discussed with my husband. Like, I'm definitely gonna do like a 7-day fast, prior to the actual election. So if anybody out there want to join me, let me know, and we can do it together, because I always say, just like the Bible says, when two or more come together, okay? So, we can all fast together before we get out there. But definitely, yes, fast, clear your mind, do your research, and be led by your spirit. Be led by the spirit that's within you to know which way to go, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my fasting is good. Yeah, fasting is real good. Fasting is real good. We are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against evil spirits. So no one man can be the fault of a whole nation. Exactly. That's how I feel. That's how I feel as well. And I do know it say about, the principalities and, people in high places and stuff like that. But people in high places is really like a whole government. Principalities, and this is just my opinion, it's a whole system. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, a one evil being who have that much power and control to manipulate and hypnotize the whole nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we look at it, we are fighting over principles, which is laws and legislations and bills that's being passed and agendas and, things like that. And people in high places, and people in high places can be, government officials. What is these people called? The higher ups. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in that type of position, to where they feel like because they have money, they have power or some sort of power. So I agree. I totally agree with you when it comes to that. She said 45 is stupid as
Thank you. Whoever said that. Thank you.
He ain't got good sense. I ain't gonna lie to you. He ain't got good sense. I'm just not one of the people that blame everything on him. I'm just not one of the people that blame everything on him. Like, when I first talked to my aunt about the coronavirus, and she said, that man, here go my aunt, that man then brought a virus over here. And I was just like, aunt, how did he bring the virus over here? You do know it was in China first, and it kind of no. That man then brought the virus over here. We ain't got nothing to do with China. He brought that virus over here. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I just couldn't wrap my mind around how she came up with that. But I was like, you know what? As long as it's, during his reign, I'm pretty sure, a lot of things will fall back on him, whether he was responsible for it, whether he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It will fall back on him.
Yeah,
But
just like how he blaming everything on Obama. If he leave the office, they're gonna blame coronavirus on him. And they're gonna blame him for not sending out no second stimulus checks. And they're gonna blame him for everything that's happening right now. Donald Trump gonna get blamed for it. So he needs to
that's
sit
just
down.
period. That's just period. That's just period. So I got a little fun, thought-provoking would you rather question that we're gonna do real quick and talk about. We have had like a real deep conversation today, and I really just want to give y'all a thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from kind of taking my mind away from the nonsense and bringing it back to our people and bringing it back to where it really should be about, and focusing on what's going on in this world and how we can change what's going on in this world, and if we even can change what's going on in this world. But I'm supposed to use my voice to inspire, to uplift, to encourage, to educate, and a lot of times I found myself using my voice to cuss somebody out. And y'all know to keep it real.
You ain't gotta do it all the time though.
Huh?
You ain't gotta do it all the time though. I'm always ready to go.
I know.
Put us, tag us in the game too now.
Well, y'all could it's like double dutch. Just jump in. You free to just jump in. Just jump in. Sometimes I'm too busy twirling and jumping at the same time to tag somebody in. When y'all see them ropes going, and y'all know like, oh hell, I can't talk right now. I'm going through, just jump on in. Because I'm too busy twirling and jumping at the same time. But I mean, I'm seriously like, and I know that the Bible say that, salt water and fresh water don't flow down the same stream. And, so this is something I've been balancing for a long time. Like, y'all have no idea. Like, this might be just a curse that's on me, something, a chain that I might have to break. I told y'all, most people that know me, I was raised by 2 grandmothers. I have no shame in my game of who I am. My mother was a drug addict until I was 9 years old. My father was a drug dealer until I was 25. Okay, or somewhere around that. But I was raised by my grandparents. I had one grandmother who kept me in church from Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then I had to go to choir rehearsal 3 days a week. You see what I'm saying? So I had a grandmother that kept me in church. And then when my grandmother take me over to my other grandmother's house, my father's mother, oh baby, my father's mother would cuss like a sailor. She was a beautiful woman, a good-spirited woman, but if you cross her, if you piss her off, she just cuss. I mean, she could, and it shouldn't have to be upset. She could be happy. Like, she could be in the kitchen cooking Christmas dinner, and she could just be like, excuse my French, but I'm going to give y'all an idea what type of grandmother I had. She'd just be like, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me making those nasty ass greens. These greens taste like shit.
I think we all have one of those in our families.
Okay.
I don't care who you are. We all have somebody in our family that's like that. Now, I can relate
when my
to
grandmother passed away, I prayed for a double portion of her spirit, because my grandmother, she was not only going to church like 3 days, 4 days a week and standing there for 10 hours, like a whole full-time shift. But not only was she going to church, but she was real spiritual. She used to sing spiritual hymns, and Mahalia Jackson was like one of her favorite people who she used to sing, and Vicky Winans. And so my grandmother used to go around the house singing all the time. And so I remember just going through a state of losing her, and I was really sad and I was down and out. And I remember praying for a double portion of her spirit, because I wanted to have that same spirituality, that same connection with God, if not greater than what she had, and what she had, how she could just sing her way out of trouble, out of a storm. She just sing her way out of it. So I remember praying for a double portion of her spirit. And I believe when it comes to like my spiritual walk and journey, and the connection that I have, relationship I have with God, I believe I do have a piece of her in me, if not a double portion. But I also believe I have a piece of that other grandma. I have a piece of that other grandma in me as well. I might not cuss as much as she do because she would just say some cuss words just on the strength because it poured out, but I have a piece of her in me too where I don't play no games, don't play no games with me. I don't need no friends. I can do without a fake friend. You know what I'm saying? Like I have that part of me too. And so to kind of find a balance, or it's kind of like that is my struggle. Like that's my thing. So I don't want to be the kind of person that, where fresh water and salt water flowing down the same stream. But at the same time, I really struggle with that because I have both of my grandmothers in me, dog. Like, and that's crazy. I'm trying to use my voice and my platforms to empower, to uplift. But if somebody piss me off and they keep attacking me, I will cuss you out. Like that other grandma will come out of me, and that's just the way it is. Until
Malika,
things change.
I'm like that all day, Malika, because
Me too.
I've been raised like that on both sides of the track too with my family. So I'm like that too. I can give you the sweet version of me, the best of me, but you piss me off, all hell will break loose.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm the same
and
way.
then people will look at me like, who in the hell left the gate open? Y'all remember that? Let me just say this. Y'all remember that one commercial used to come on at 4:00 in the morning, and the man used to be like, who in the hell left the gate open?
Who in the hell left the gate open?
I used to love that commercial. I used to wonder, like, who the hell left the gate open? I was 10 years old, like, grandma, who the hell left the gate open?
I'm about to say, I ain't never heard that commercial. I must have been still a baby.
That was before your time.
So I want to hear something crazy though. When I was little, like on my mother's side was the real spiritual side. My grandfather was a pastor and everything, so they kept us in church too. But I would see church folks, piss my grandmother off, and she would want to say certain things, but she wouldn't. So I would ask her, I'd be like, Grandma, can I just curse one time? Can I just say what's really on my mind just for you and for me? And she would say, what the devil you mean? You just one time? I'd be like, Grandma, please, please. And she'll look at me and she'll grin and she'll be like, I want to see what you gonna say. Boy, when she gave me that nod, go ahead.
You better have it. My grandmother did too, and I didn't even realize that people in the church can be haters. But yeah, people in the church can be haters. My grandma would come to church with a sharp suit and a sharp hat on, and somebody in the front just got something to say.
They'd be like,
I don't care what. It's haters everywhere. But let me do this would you rather question real quick. That was really a good little chat that we just had because y'all brought back some memories. I just wanted y'all to know why I am the way I am. It's just something that I really struggle with. You know what I'm saying? Like I really struggle with that. I don't want my mouth to be a blessing and a curse too. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to, be a blessing and even bless those that curse me. But I ain't there yet, to say the truth. But anyway, our would you rather question, something that's kind of fun and thought provoking too. Would you rather live a low life with your loved ones or a rich life all alone? I'm going to read it to y'all one more time. Would you rather live a low life with your loved ones? And I would assume that a low life is the opposite of a rich life. Or would you rather live a rich life all alone? Now, I can speak for Tim Norman. Tim Norman said, I'd rather live a rich white life all alone because I'm ready to take out my nephew. I'm ready to take out my mama and anybody else that get in the way. And I'm just speaking for Tim Norman. But I want to see you guys' response. Would you rather live a low life with your loved ones or a rich life all alone? Lanisa, Kanisha, one of y'all.
I don't know. I would say both. I don't care. I don't care. I'm
You
saying
can't
both.
pick. It's a would you rather. It's a would you rather, and would you rather don't come with two answers. It only come with one. That's why it's called would you rather. Lenise, would you rather? You really
No.
got to think about it. Do y'all
I
really got to think about this question?
No, not really. I'd rather live a low life with my loved ones because we can always find means to, make stuff happen. So think
Okay,
Okay.
is
about
that
it.
what
If
other
you
people do?
living a rich life and you by yourself, how good would that be? I mean, yeah, you would have everything you want and stuff, but you would be lonely.
Yeah.
And then nobody would really, you wouldn't know who's really genuinely for you. So, because everybody would be pressuring you for money and whatever they can get out of you.
They
So,
can do that to you in your low life.
that's true. That's true.
That's why I
But
said
you wouldn't be subject to be taken advantage of more than you would if you was rich.
well, I guess I'd say the low life, but I ain't explaining why. I mean,
I
yeah.
kind of think that you kind of both ways with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kanisha, like, I don't know. If I'm rich, I can't be alone. The hell with that.
Just me and my kids.
Yeah. Well, I never experienced a rich life. I don't know what it's like to be rich, and but what I do know what it's like is to have my loved ones around me and in my corner, and I know how to struggle and I know how to get through the struggle. I know how to hustle. I know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. So because I know what that feels like and I've experienced that before, I would have to say a low life because that's something I'm used to. I'm not that pressed to be rich or to have fame or fortune. I'm not that pressed to where I would want to do it walking alone. Because when I hear the word alone, that even makes me sad. Just by saying, "Oh, Malika, you gonna be alone." Like just the word itself make me depressed.
And exactly, Beverly, most rich people ain't happy. They're not. Look at Mariah Carey. Remember how she tried to take her life?
A lot of them were suicidal. A lot of them were suicidal.
I
Yeah.
ain't know nothing
So
about that now.
yeah, because we know how to live walking the shoes that we walking in. And like I told my husband, I say because my husband have an addiction to scratch off tickets. Like he buys 15, 20 scratch off tickets like a day, y'all. It's horrible. Okay.
Oh
On his way
wow.
home from work, he stop at the store and he come home with loads of scratch off tickets. And I be telling him like, do you think that we just gonna hit real big off of scratch off tickets? And he be like, hell yeah, one of these days. And I be thinking like, we probably gonna lose more money than we gain, than we win. And I just told him, I said, okay, well, if you feel like we gonna hit big one day off of these scratch off tickets, be prepared to live a rich lifestyle. Like be mentally prepared for that. Because even the Bible say that what is it? Oh my God, y'all know what I'm trying to say. What is it profit a man to lose his
To
soul
gain
but
the
gain the
world, but
world?
to lose his
Right.
soul.
Gain the world but lose his soul. So I'm kind of like, do you think that we are really mentally and spiritually mature enough to have millions of dollars? And my husband said, hell yeah. Right. That's his answer to everything. So I told him, I said, because I'm so true to myself. I'm like, I don't know. Because I'm not going to lie to y'all. If I get me a beautiful, nice lace front, a silky boy, unprocessed, raw, $300 lace front wig, and some bad glasses, and a bad purse, a nice Chanel bag, I think I'm the stuff.
And your husband really gonna be like, hell yeah.
So I can't imagine having access to Chanel, $300-$500 wigs, Gucci glasses. I can't imagine having a black card. I would be walking around every day with a little pride in me.
Man, who would it?
I would be very prideful.
Okay, but look, do y'all remember the girl that was in North Carolina and she had won the lottery and she had millions and millions of dollars, like she hit big, and it was from her mother's numbers. Her mom had gave her the numbers to play, and instead of her mom taking the credit for the money, she gave it to her daughter because her daughter, the lady had like she had like 4 or 5 kids, and she took those millions of dollars. She was on Oprah. She was on the Oprah network on with what's her name? Ayana Van Zant,
Yeah.
whatever her name is, and they had her on that show. She had took her money and she had a drug dealer boyfriend and he kept getting into trouble and she kept bailing him out and she spent millions of dollars bailing him out. And so when she got on that show with Ayala, they was like, the way you keep going, she had bought this plantation for her and her kids, but her kids didn't even live there. They was living with her mother back in another part of North Carolina, and she was all alone. The boyfriend had still ended up in jail after she had spent all the millions of dollars getting him out of trouble like 3 or 4 times, and she was severely depressed and stuff. She had a lot of stuff going on. She was thinking about committing suicide, just all types of stuff. So that's a prime example. Like, I would rather live a low life at first, and if by chance God blessed me to gain riches, then I would, know what to do with it, because when you get all that money like that at one time, you're gonna go crazy. So you got to make sure, like, you I don't know, have a plan or something to do, set up your stuff. But that's the prime
Definitely gotta make
example of what
sure.
you're talking about. Just if you was to get a whole bunch of money like that at one time, how you can just literally go crazy doing certain things.
You
Look
definitely
at
have
Tony
to make sure
Braxton. She rich, but she went bankrupt.
you definitely got to make sure you spiritually and mentally, ready to live that type of life, to live a rich. And rich, we talk about financial rich, because rich don't mean always money, but we talk about far as financial status. You have to make sure that you are spiritually, mentally, and mature for that. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't feel like I'm all the way there. And I think that God know that a lot of his people not all the way there. And that's the reason why he take us from level to level, and he take time with us. And he said, I gave you a promising ending, a great future, but at the same time, I have to take you through levels. It's levels to this. I'm not going to just give it to you right now because I don't want to destroy you. I don't want to destroy your spirit by giving it to you. You see what I'm saying? So a good father is not going to give you something that you're not ready for. My daughter, when she was 16, that's just like her dad putting the keys to the car in her hands and telling her to just go joyride. You know what I'm saying? Like, a good father is not going to do that to you until you actually ready for it. But anyway, you guys, I got to get up out of here. And
Yeah, because if this server kicks me off one more time, I promise you, that's it. I'm tired of it.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We just wanted to go over a little bit and kind of like, give you guys some time because we was kind of late coming on today. But I gotta go ahead and get out of here. We love you guys. Much love to you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next week. And go ahead and feel free to send us an email with some suggestions and some topics. And we will address it on our next show. Love you guys.
Bye.
Peace out, y'all.